she and I have been playing Simpsons Hit and Run for the GameCube.
Yeah, so you is that like a kind of a GTA like Simpsons
Yeah,
game?
very much so. But they try to like the idea is that you're hitchhiking, you're not stealing vehicles as much, but
Oh, I see.
but you're then free to slam into people. You're free to hit people. They just don't die. They're like, hey, watch where you're going, but you just hit Ralph Wiggum right in the body. You know, you can't, much like GTA, you can't take damage, but you can't, like Chief Wiggum can, you know, fine you and stuff. It's like a gold basis. It's just a GTA. I think what happened was they made Simpsons Road Rage,
Which
and
is a Crazy Taxi.
that was Crazy Taxi, which that sounds fun too. I like Crazy Taxi.
I remember I've played a little bit of that one. I remember it being really funny, like because they have all the voice cast doing all the lines, and
Yeah,
they're just naturally funny actors. Like,
yeah, they
even when
they improvise as the characters really well. Like when they were on the inside the actor studio, and they were just asked to, you know, how much for the penny candy? Surprisingly expensive. Back when you could do a poo. Yeah, it's GTA, and it made me wonder. And it's really fun. I mean, I don't know that they could release that game as is today because there's a little. I think probably modern sensibilities would say that it's a little too simple. Just getting in a car and just driving like a maniac and doing little missions and stuff. But it just scratches the itch, man. It is so calming. It is so easy. But you know, with small challenges that you can abandon. Like if you find that is too hard, just go do something else. And it's really funny. And you don't get bored because I don't know if I mean, I assume other GTAs are like this, but I never really played those games that much. I would play them at like friends' houses and stuff. But you can like advance to the next character. So once you do enough missions as Homer, you advance to Bart. Then you advance to Lisa and Marge, and it's great. It's great, and she enjoys it because again, like I can hand the controller to her and be like, "Do what you will," you know,
yeah.
cause what mayhem you will. So I get why people call that the best Simpsons video game, and
I think yeah, and I don't think it'll be dethroned because I think Simpsons as an IP has lost the plot in general.
Yeah,
and so
I saw it. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit. I saw Homer give some kind of terribly unfunny D23 presentation, and he just sounded so wrong in every respect. He was animated wrong. He sounded weird. The writing was bad.
I mean, I think like when we were filming Box Maggie a few years ago, and in between episodes, like John put on a more recent episode, and it's like it's uncanny valley because everything sounds like the pacing is like so weird, and it's just there's something really missing.
I'll sometimes see Simpsons in like remember the 90s type lineups as if it's not still on the air.
Yeah.
Remember this old show? It's the kind of show that like it would have been so to its benefit to stop around 2001 or something, which ironically is when Hit and Run came out. And then like, yeah, if they want to do reunion stuff, if they want to, whatever, like a short here and there, you know, keep them in the culture, but just not relentless episodes, please.
It is strange that it's a Disney property. It's like...
And that Disney hasn't made new decisions with. I mean, you get the Discovery guy over there canning everything. The Disney's like, keep it running. Maybe we can get to 40 seasons and maybe more cast will die.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like once that starts happening more and more, it's gonna get weird.
Yeah, it's insane. But Hit and Run fun.
You know, I guess they do that stuff with Mickey and Donald, and maybe Homer is going to be like Bugs Bunny, just new voice actors every once in a while, and who knows?
I can't see it. It's too, you know. I was thinking about that just today. We were watching like from the 1940s, Mickey's birthday celebration, or the Mickey's birthday or something. It was from the 40s. The animation's gorgeous, by the way. You just can't believe how good it is. They must have spent their entire lives animating this one night. These poor guys. I mean, the caricatures are so good, and the concepts are so, you know, much like the old Looney Tunes were. And a side note, have you ever seen, like, speaking of I think this one was 50s. If you search for on YouTube Looney Tunes like celebrity caricatures. There's this one sketch. What's it called? Looney Tunes celebrity caricatures. Yeah, these are the ones. Hollywood Steps Out, 1941. And the whole thing is in a very Tiny Toons-esque way. It's these caricatures of all these famous people from the time. You don't recognize fucking any of them. And not only do you not recognize them, I mean, maybe there's one in there, but the jokes about them are so incoherent.
That's so funny. Well, it reminds me of like Animaniacs or something. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They have very dated 90s references in them.
Yeah, right. It would be incoherent to a child today for sure. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, but anyway, so I'm watching this Mickey thing, and it's like Goofy's voice, and it's kind of like a more muted Goofy voice, like not quite like Gorsh. He's not quite the guy that we know. And I'm like, the guy who started doing his voice, I think he still does him. He's probably ancient now, but he started in like the 80s, as did a lot of voice revivals. Like Jim Cummings started doing Winnie the Pooh sometime in the 80s, and has done it ever since. And like in a lot of ways, the guys who got recast in the 80s and 90s have kind of like become more that character than the originals in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I'll be the same for Homer. Hello, everybody. I'm Homer now.
Oh, they go back to the Walter Matthau type of thing. Frosty chocolate milkshakes. Frosty chocolate milkshakes.
This was originally supposed to be Homer.
I love that. Do you remember like whatever it was, the 130th episode spectacular or something? They showed like at length one of those old Tracy Ullman ones. Got the Troy McClure just cringing at it. He's like, they haven't changed a bit, have they?
It's funny because I didn't really. I think when I saw that, I didn't even realize that it was originally Tracy Ullman shorts. So I thought the whole thing was a gag. Like I like when I saw the old animations, I was like, oh, is this like a gag? Like that they came from this? But no,
I saw a recent James Rolfe video where he was doing like top 5 shows of all time, and he was like, unfortunately, I've never seen The Simpsons. Yeah. And now I have to do the yeah anytime he says anything. But he says like, I saw the Tracy Ullman episodes though, but I never saw the fucking Simpsons.
Wow.
You're a weirdo. This is the same guy who's like, actually, I've never had I think it was a Coca-Cola, or maybe it was Pepsi. There's some very famous soda he's never
it's like his like best friend is literally like McDonald's incarnate, and he hasn't had
yeah, so what would be great is if they would release for the Switch, like my recommendation would be, if they really wanted to show kindness to the fans, a Simpsons collection of some kind that would be Hit and Run, Road Rage, and the arcade game.
Yeah.
And sell it for like $50. Go ahead. Like, charge for it.
Yeah. I mean, those are the best ones.
It's GameCube, it's PS2, so put it in HD,
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.